If you had to explain calculus now to like a 5-year-old, how would you do that? Or could you do that?
Jeez, nah. Yeah, area under a curve.
Yeah.
It's just this idea of infinite and the idea of zero, and how to calculate that.
It's pretty good.
That area.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah. I did pretty well in calculus, but I figured out the reason why was I had good teachers. I come across a lot of people now who say, I hate math. I'll never like math. I'll never understand math. Can't imagine ever understanding calculus. And I tell them, you can. It's very simple. It's very structured. You just probably didn't have a good teacher somewhere in the past, and that sort of tainted your perception of.
Yeah.
Elon Musk said something that I loved about this.
This guy says a lot of things that people love.
Man, yeah. I've got some quotes from him written down.
Is that right? Let's hear some.
He said that the problem with education is that we teach the tools, not the problem. And the example he gives is if you're trying to rebuild an engine, we're teaching, here's a wrench, here's a drill, here's what they do.
Yeah.
And he's saying that's the wrong approach. You don't teach the tools, you teach the problem. The problem would be, here's the engine, we need to remove this piece on the top, and there are these screws in it. That's the problem. And then when the student sees it that way, they feel like, okay, this is easy. I just need to find a tool that twists this screw.
Yeah.
Oh, that does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
That's the easy part. Yeah.
We're doing the reverse where we're like,
interesting.
We're making it abstract. We're teaching the tools without a concept of the actual problem that they're designed to solve. So
yeah,
I was working for an operator in Dallas, fresh out of college. It was an awesome company. I was so ecstatic that I had found the oil and gas industry. I thought it was just the most amazing place.
Nice.
So much freedom and so much more than what I expected out of corporate America. So really liked it. And I was on a team of about 5 or 6 engineers working for this operator in Dallas. We had a meeting one day, and the meeting was to pick an engineering firm for a facility that we had to build in Montana.
Wow.
And I'm fresh out of college. I'm a fly on the wall. I don't know anything. I'm just attending this meeting and kind of watching it unfold. But I thought it was strange that we were having a meeting to pick an engineering firm for this project. It's typical for an operator to farm out the engineering to a third-party firm. But I just thought it was weird that 6 of us were gathering in a meeting to like pick a company. I don't know why, but I thought that was strange. So we get in this room. It's a tiny conference room. There's a whiteboard. My manager stands up and he says, okay, I'm going to write down the engineering firms that I know of that we could potentially use for this project. So he writes down, maybe 3 companies on the board. Mm-hmm. And he says to the next guy in the room, okay, who do you know? Which engineering firms do you know that could potentially help us with this project? We go around the room, and I think we came up with like 8 engineering firms that we collectively knew that could potentially help us with this facility project.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. I was thinking, wait a minute, this is an established oil field company.
Yeah.
Here are 6 experienced guys, and we can only come up with 8 engineering firms. Like, surely there are more than 8 in the industry.
Right.
And why did it take us to gather in a meeting to come up with the list? Why can't I just go online and search engineering firms and get the full list? But that's kind of the genesis of the idea for Trunkline, is there should be a search engine or some sort of platform online where you can search for any type of service in the industry and evaluate them.
Yeah. Learning that Trunkline through just simple pipeline terminology, the trunk line is where all the little lines are coming in to get, the main source in or out of the system. And that's why Trunkline is called Trunkline. I thought that was fascinating. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I never thought to even ask that question until today. But then just kind of getting your ideas and getting behind a little bit of your philosophy of kind of analyzing or identifying a problem and building tools to solve the problem. Not just focused on the tools and tech, and mastering that for some problem that might exist somewhere, but you really identifying the problem and then building a tool to solve the problem. And it's the communication in our industry, or in really any industry. You building relationships, person to person, is a real thing that has to happen. It's never going to change. We're always going to find people that we get along with. Hey, let's go get some drinks. Let's go get breakfast. And they happen to do something in the oil fields that you use commonly as an operator, but you also get along. Those are real relationships, and you're going to have
Right.
friends, and you're going to build, a career doing that, and you're going to build lifelong friends in this industry. That's how that works. But at the end of the day, as an operator, certainly, you have to get a return on your investment. You have to do very well for your company. And so how do you do that? You get bids, you create competition between companies, and you find out who's doing the best work, who's going to get the job done the fastest, the safest, and at a good price, right? And that's that Trunkline is starting. That's that Trunkline of oil field services to operators, and operators to the service companies. And so there's more to the relationship, that in-person relationship that everybody's doing in our industry. There's more to it, and you're bringing that in. That's pretty cool.